Hi, it's the M.L.M for the Soul Channel. I do have a new topic for today. Before I begin, I just would like to say, may the words and expressions of my mouth and the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor and acceptance before you, Hashem. And some people I thank have inspired me. Hope they can inspire you as well. And I will have links below this video to their sites here: Rabbi Shalom Arush, Rabbi Lazer Brody, Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, Rabbi Eli Mansour, Rabbi Alon Anavar, Rabbi Yuval Ovadia, Rabbi Daniel Asser, Nisan Baruch Black, David Sachs, Rabbi Michael Skobach, Jews for Judaism, Rabbi David Ashir, and Rabbi Yaron Ruvain as well. If you've never checked out this channel before, I will have a link to my first video right below this video, so you can check out what it means and what it stands for and what I'm doing. So today's topic is taken from an email I get, and it's called Portion of Kindness by Rosalie Saltzman. So this has a few different subtopics, so I might not be able to fit them in the title, so I might have to put them underneath in the notes section, but 4 different things. It's going to be minimize the damage, give a bit extra, wrong interpretation, and do chesed in abundance. And this is related to the upcoming portion, Parshat Shalach and Sefer Bamidbar. So how did the spies tour the land in only 40 days? Rashi comments that Hashem gave them kvitzat derech, which means I think a shortening of the way, knowing that they would sin and would have to spend 1 year for every day touring the land. Hashem made sure they did it in no more than 40 to minimize the punishment. Often we see people doing things that are going to get them in trouble, and we can't stop them. What we can do, though, and what would be a chesed for them, is to somehow help them minimize the damage they cause themselves. So that's how I got this idea for that little part of the topic. So parents know this skill, but it could be equally applied to friends, colleagues, and neighbors. Sometimes minding your own business is not the best thing to do. So yeah, that, it's hard because you see people doing things that aren't right, and if you can minimize, like Hashem minimized it by, making their path shorter, because he knew that's what would happen to them. There was 40 years for the 40 days. It was a year for each day that they went into the land. They were spying out the land. So we do what we can. Like, I like what it says in there, mind your own business is not the best thing to do always. Sometimes it is, but other times you want to say something, and sometimes when you do say something, unfortunately, it makes the situation worse. So you just have to kind of take it as it comes and see if the person is the type of person that's receptive to it as well. Next is Moshe called Hosea, son of Nun, Yehoshua. That's from Bamidbar 13:16. So Moshe gave Yehoshua an extra letter to his name as a blessing to protect him from the possible influence of the other spies, according to Rashi. Sometimes it's important to be fair. Sometimes it's important to give someone a little extra, if that is what he needs. Moshe felt that Yehoshua needed extra protection, so he gave it to him, and that added protection helped him but not be swayed by the others. This was ultimately for the benefit of the whole nation, since Yehoshua led them into Israel 40 years later. So the chesed Moshe did for Yehoshua was actually chesed that benefited the entire nation. Often an extra encouraging word, an extra few dollars, an extra mile, and an extra blessing can go a long way and bring unexpected dividends to others. We must always be willing to give just a bit extra. I call it give a bit extra, or it could be give just a bit extra, whenever possible, especially to those whom we perceive can use it the most. Sometimes people like to do that without letting other people know. I've heard stories like that where they, like do something and they didn't know they were doing it. Like they go to the store and someone says, "I'll pay for so-and-so's groceries," and they, I don't know if we could do it today with credit cards, but like maybe it's the places where you can do it and someone else can pay it, and they say, "I'll just pay the bill," or so you hear stories like that. Okay, now the land which we have passed to spy out is a land that devours its inhabitants. That's from Bamidbar 13:32. So Rashi comments that Hashem caused many deaths during the 40 days the spies spied out the land, so that the people would be too busy burying their dead to worry about strangers. Instead of recognizing the chesed being done for them, the spies panicked and misinterpreted the events. So hence that idea for the next little subtitle, wrong interpretation. Many times we are recipients of chesed, but not only do we not appreciate it, we interpret it as being just the opposite. I know I've experienced that both myself, to me, where I didn't think it was a chesed, and also me doing it to other people, and they didn't think it was a chesed either. So it went both ways. While we must always look for opportunities to do chesed for others, we must also always look for opportunities to recognize the chesed being done for us, whether by Hashem, our families, and friends, or complete strangers. We may be depriving ourselves of enjoying chesed by not being open to see it. Now the thing is, everything Hashem does is with chesed. So even if we don't think it is, like something happens in our day and we're like, why did that just happen? You know, like everything was just going fine. Well, that's life. Never, everything is always happening, and it always is a chesed, so we have to always recognize it as such. And finally, Hashem, slow to anger, abundant in kindness, forgiver of iniquity. That's from Bamidbar 14:18. So one of the divine attributes of Hashem is that He is, quote, abundant in kindness. Notice that it doesn't say kind, but abundant in kindness. As we are meant to emulate Hashem, it is not enough that we do acts of chesed, but that we do them in abundance. It isn't enough to help an old lady across the street and tick off chesed for the day, like, oh, I did my chesed, right? Now I'm done. Right? So Avraham Avinu, who represents the midah of chesed, ran after it. He ran around all day looking for acts of chesed to perform. While we are not on that level, while we are running around all day to complete what is on our schedules, do our work and run our errands, we can also try and fit in running after some chesed. Meaning we can't do what Avraham did, but we can still try to fit it in. Like, I know one day I was in a store and I saw a woman seemed like she was kind of lost or looking for something. She couldn't find maybe a bag to put her fruit in, so I went over and got it for her and opened it up. You know, just, not that I'm asking, ding, there's my chesed, you know, it's just like, I know that's the right thing to do, and I saw the opportunity, so I just went to do it. And I hope and pray that we will all realize that a lot of this parsha talks about chesed, and that we all need to do more chesed and emulate Hashem, and that we will all merit to live and see the coming of Mashiach, speedily in our days, and rebuilding our final everlasting base. Hamigash, Amen. And thanks for watching.